Okay, so last week we did this did this room, and so today I am starting with these little chalks that I have, and I'm kind of trying to scrape some off. I always just take them and take a little razor blade and scrape a little bit off here, um, and make a little powder. And then I pick that up, and it's not really sticking too well to the wall because I've spray Mod Podged it, and it's kind of slick. It ain't wanting to really stick to that. I think I just need to get some paint and water down some paint. You can sort of see some back in this corner, but it's not really aging these walls as well as I want them to be. So I'm just going to actually get some paint and water it down and go in these corners where I want it. I think it would go on a lot more bold. But the room looks amazing, but it's just a little bit flat and a little bit fakey. I kind of hate the shimmer of the Mod Podge, and it ain't even like a glossy Mod Podge. It's like a matte. But even that has a little bit of a shine, so I definitely want to tone it down some. And of course, I've got this terrible lighting on it that just makes everything really shiny. But anyway, I'm going to go off camera and try to age up the corners and stuff and just make that look a little bit more detailed. So I'm going to do that real quick. All right, so I got that done, and I think the light kind of drowns out some of the detail, some of the darkness of what I just did, but it'll show up better in pictures and it looks better in real life. But that totally helped. I mean, it kind of toned down the shine on the walls, and I pretty much just went with a watered down black paint over the entire thing, and I had to use this paper towel to just kind of rub it off away, like where it was too much, and I just kind of wiped it off. And then I kind of let it settle a little bit more in the corners. So I'm so in love with it now. So I guess what I'm ready to do, I guess I'm going to work on the fireplace, or I might, you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to hang up the taxidermy. So let me grab that. And let me see one thing real quick. I want to go ahead and sit moi up here. Okay, now that we don't even need anything else in the room. That is perfect. That is actually so cute. Let me bring the picture up here. There's our little portrait. Now, of course, I've got to put antlers across the top of that and some at the bottom. And then in the picture, like I had said in another video, it kind of looks like bamboo around here. And that's kind of how it looks in the movie. But I'm going to actually make my frame look the way the frame does at the Disney parks, where it's got these leaves around the frame. So I'm going to cut out some little, I think it's an oak tree leaf. I'm going to try to cut out a bunch of those and glue those around that frame at some point, hopefully in this video. But that's what I'm going to do for that instead of the way it is done here. And I'll try to pull up a picture of how it looks at the park. All right, so I'm going to go off camera to glue the taxidermy up here because my phone that I'm recording with is just about to go down. The battery's really low. So I'm going to look at them here, see where I think they need to go. My battery's so low that my screen is dark. I can't hardly see what I'm even recording. Hopefully I am recording, but I think I'll just go off camera. All I'm going to do is hot glue these on here, and then we'll come back and work on the fireplace down here, the little fire. All right, so get ready to see the most gorgeous thing you're going to see today, or probably all year long, or maybe even your entire lifetime. But here, let's look at this, and boop. Ah, look how cute it is. Now, I kind of went by how things were hanging in here. The deer is down here. He's got a bear. I didn't have a bear. I put my hyena over here. Um, and then the ram is over there. I tried to kind of match it for what I had that was sort of like it. He's got a raccoon or a badger. I put my badger up there. And the little bunny rabbit is there. And then over on this wall in this picture, you can't see it in this picture, but there's a deer head over on this other wall. So I put a deer head up here. So that looks really, really cute. So the next thing, oh, and of course the little antlers up there. And I want to get those little oak leaves. I don't think I'm going to be able to cut them out, but I noticed there are a few little things on the internet I could probably order. You can get these little punches where you can punch them out of paper, like an actual, like a little hole punch thing. So I'm going to order one of those so I can punch me out some little oak leaves to go around that frame. So the next thing to do is I got these fairy lights, and this is what I always use in my projects. And of course, I put batteries in here to make sure that they work. And these are really fancy. I mean, you can click the button and they do different things, which I don't really care if they do all that stuff like that. I just want them kind of like that right there. Well, no, not that. Just a plain, normal, own style. But anyway, I'm going to roll these off real quick. And oh my gosh, this is a lot of lights. I mean, I feel like there's more like a million. I think it said 100, but it feels like a million. I mean, that's going to be so many lights in the back of this project. But I'm going to try to make use of as much as I can, because not only are these going to go into Gaston's fireplace, they're going to go into all the other rooms also. So, I mean, I guess it's good that there's this many, but holy moly, they're really starting to pile up. It's going to definitely be a process of trying to wiggle these around and get them going the way I need them to go for each of the different rooms. All right, so there they are. You can see they go down in the floor. I mean, this could like stretch halfway across my house, or probably all the way across my house, it seems like. But I gotta find the end. I've already dropped the end of it, and let me see. The pain about this is it's going to drive me insane, trying to keep these not tangled up, you know, while I'm working on the rest of the project, because most of this is just going to be, where in the heck is the end of this thing? Okay, I think I got it. All right, so here it is. Here's the end of it. And let's stretch that over that way. I'm going to try not to tangle them up. Let me bump up here closer. All right, so I left myself this space on the end. You go through the beast castle here, and there's an opening. And I'm going to reach in there and try to feed it through this little hole here in the wall. All right, so I got it. I found the little hole, and I'm going to feed about 4 of those. I want it to be pretty bright. As many as I've got, I'm going to pull 5 of those through there. Well, no, wait, let me do, okay, we don't want it too bright. Let me do 4. It's an even number. All right, so really easy. Nothing too exciting to see here. I'm going to glue those down to make sure they don't pull through. Just kind of bend them around in there. And I'm going to bend them the way I want them. And then these little sticks that I had, I'm just going to lay them on there. And that's pretty much it, because if you look at his fireplace, let me grab the picture. It's just lit up with a few logs in there. And I can see those little andiron things sticking up, so I'll add those in after I get the logs put in there. But all I'm going to do is glue them lights in place and then lay those little logs on top. All right, so I got that done, and I'm going to turn it on here. Okay, so what I hate about that, I didn't glue it because I thought I better test it before I glue it. So I don't like that blue light. That does not look like a fire. So I've got this leaf here that is like, you almost can sort of see through it. I know it's hard to tell much about it, but it's orange and yellow. And I'm just wondering if I put that in there, if that would look more like a flame. So I'm testing this. I don't like that. See, these lights are like a cool color, like a bluish cool color they call it. I mean, I didn't know that. I wished I would have got the warm lights, which would have had a more yellow glow. So I'm trying to figure out how to make that not look blue. I hate that blue light. That'll look okay in the other parts of the project, but I don't like it here. So if I had like a transparent sort of yellowy paint, that would work, I know, but I don't. So I'm just trying to look around my house, trying to think what can I do to make this look like a warmer glow. If I had yellow uh, paper, like oh gosh, tissue paper, that would be perfect to put over that, or even red. Red would make me happy, but I don't even think I've got tissue paper. So I'm gonna look, see what I can come up with. All right, so I found the beach ball and I cut it up, and I hope this will work so that I don't feel like I've wasted a beach ball. So let's turn on the light, and of course I know that looks really blue, so let's try to put this over that, and I think that will look pretty good. That's way better. It don't look blue. That looks good, but let's try the orange. And then there's even a red part to the beach ball that I could cut if I don't like the yellow or the orange. But okay, see, this is so much better. I love how that looks. The orange is the color to go with. I don't even want to try the red. But oh my gosh, that looks so good. I'm so glad I saved it, because I mean, I thought, am I going to find a way to do this or not? But that's going to work perfect. So I'm going to shove them lights in there, glue this little piece of the beach ball in there, and then put that over it. But what I'm needing to do, that's not very bright. So what I'm going to do, it's just, I'm trying to figure out how to get the logs in there, because they really just hide most of that. I thought maybe I should put a few loose logs in there and not do as many. See, that looks way better instead of the big chunk of log, because that one big chunk, that just totally hides it. So I think if I just do a few loose ones, it's going to look better than the big piece here. All right, so I've got that done, and let me turn it on here. So it looks pretty good, but there's one thing I'm going to try to do. I've punched a hole up kind of high above the fire. I'm going to feed some more of these lights through the top up here and shove them up in here so that it'll hopefully brighten it up even more. Because I do like it, but the way it looks in the cartoon here, it's just really bright, so I just want to try to brighten it up even more. But that looks pretty good so far. I love the yellowy look it's got. And the plastic, even though you sort of see that plastic, it just looks so good. And then there's another thing I want to do. I'm going to get my coffee, mix it with some Mod Podge, and put down around the bottom to look like some burnt wood and some coals and things. So I'm going to do that after I get the rest of these lights pushed through here. All right, so I've ended up putting a little bit more orange plastic in the corners. And then I'm going to take my coffee, that's probably enough, and some Mod Podge. And it's probably more coffee than Mod Podge, but I think that'll work. And then I need to stir that up. And then that's the perfect little, you could use this for dirt or like I'm doing in the fireplace. That's a pretty good mixture. You just kind of want it at that texture there. And then I'm just going to try to find some tweezers and kind of tweeze it in, because that's such a tight little space. I don't know, it's so thick, I could probably just do it with this paintbrush handle, really. I don't want to make a mess with it. I'm trying to do it really careful. But just kind of get it in there. And there on the edge, it's a little wonky, so this will kind of help hide the wonkiness. You won't see the edge of that plastic or whatever. So that looks weird, but once it dries, it'll look the way it needs to look. All right, so I love how that looks, and I know it's going to look good because I did this in the Hocus Pocus house, and it worked good for that. So I'm going to leave a little bit of that out. I don't care if there's a little bit knocked out onto the hearth, because that looks a little more realistic too. And I don't want it too full. Looks like they don't clean their fireplace out. But that looks pretty good. I'm going to leave it like that. And let me see. Let me turn the light off a minute. And then there it is. Let me darken it a little. That looks really good. I think it looks perfect. Now there is a little wire under that plastic. I can see it. Let me darken that again. You can sort of see a wire behind that plastic right there. But that's okay, because I can take this and just poke it down and get it out of the way. And then I'm going to take a tiny little stick and cut that, or break it. Then I'm going to glue that right in that spot, sort of, just to give another little detail. And for the last thing I did, I took that leaf and I cut off some of the little points and stuck it back in there to help it look like little flames coming up. And I thought it looked pretty good. And actually, I think it looks better in real life than it's looking on the camera. But hopefully it'll look as cute in real life or in pictures as it does in real life. So you'll see that at the end. And now the next thing I want to do, I'm going to back us up here. Where did my little bear go? My little bear rug. He's a little big. I mean, my floor, we don't have... I'm going to back it up more. Okay, so what I was saying is we don't... he's doing what he's doing. The floor should have came way out. He's kind of just looking really pitiful, you know, hanging out there like that. But it is what it is. It's going to have to be what it is. That's where the bear rug goes. So that's where the bear rug's going to have to be. So what I'm going to do, his little head's hollow, and I'm going to put a screw into this board, and his little head will just kind of perch there on that screw, because I don't really want to glue him down or anything. I just want to have it removable if I want to. So I thought, since the head's hollow, it can just sort of sit down over that screw, and then it won't fall off or anything. Or actually, it's kind of fine like it is. I guess it's okay. I don't know. Now that I'm saying this, it's like, do I even need to do that? I kind of want to glue his little legs down up here. And I feel like the screw would help his head kind of look up like that, sort of. So maybe I do need the screw. I don't know. I'm kind of literally planning and doing this as I'm videoing, so I hadn't thought about it till I'm actually sitting here looking at it. But I don't know. Maybe I'll just come back to that. What else do we need to do in this room? I don't have the leaves to go around the thing there, but I did notice, well, not in this picture, but not in that picture either. Okay, let me get a picture here where it shows it. He's got these bull horns down at the bottom, so I think I'm going to make some of those out of clay. So let me grab the clay and I'll do that. All right, so you kind of can see it better back here. It's just these two big horns, so I'm just going to take my little Sculpey clay. This is obviously from Hobby Lobby, but it's just like the perfect color too. I got this for another project that I did, but this is like the perfect color. I won't even have to paint them. So I'm just going to sit here and make me 2 of those, and then we'll attach them. So what I basically did is I made a little worm and just curved it on the end, and then chopped off the part I didn't need. And now I'm going to go bake them really quick, because I've already about dropped them in the floor. So the quicker I get them done, the happier I'll be, because it was, you know, I've got them perfect and I just want to get them baked so I don't mess them up. So here are the little horns that I just made, and they turned out so good. I mean, the color, like I said, is so perfect. Don't even have to paint them. And then I made this little piece here that will go kind of hold the two together. I should have just made it like one long continuous piece, and then I wouldn't have to be gluing it together. But these are going to glue on here. I'm just going to super glue that real quick. So that didn't work out. I didn't like that little piece in between, so I just put them together like this, and I hot glued it, and I put a little super glue on there. And I want to kind of if you look at the middle of the horns, there's like this little part here. So I'm just going to kind of flock it in between. And I know these horns go straight across, but I tried to make mine look like horns that I have actually seen. Again, this is not like a perfect replica, but I just kind of want to put a little glue in the middle and take some of this fur that I've chopped up and just kind of flock it to kind of give it that little look of that little piece that's in the middle there. So I'm going to figure out where I put my glue. Here it is. And then I'm just going to glue a little bit of that fur on there. Alright, so I got the glue on it, and then I'm going to push the fur on it. I don't guess the back of it really matters, because you're not going to see the back. But I'm still going to flock it a little bit, because it's going to be glued in place. I like to glue everything down for the most part. I glue just about everything down except for the characters, because it's just, I lose stuff really easy. Now, once that glue dries a little bit, I'll, of course, blow off the bulk of this. But that looks pretty cute. That looks definitely like some kind of little horns that Gaston would have in his tavern. And then I'm going to do one more little detail. I'm going to take this string and kind of go right around there. No, I don't know. I don't really like that. I think I'm just going to leave it like this. After I saw that, it's like, nope, I'm not doing that. But this looks pretty cute. And so let me get that dried up, and then we'll glue that into place. Alright, so I did put that little gray string around there. I just thought it added a cute little detail. And so I'm going to just stick them right there with a little bit of super glue. Let me just see where the glue needs to be. Alright, I guess about here, all across the bottom. And hopefully that will hold. I'm just going to hold it there, make sure it gets on there good. And then I've sent my sister, I give her the job of ordering me that little hole punch that will look like a oak leaf, so that I can get them little leaves punched up. Oh gosh, oh my gosh, I've glued my finger to it. Oh gosh, I do that every time. See, I try not to do super glue because that happens every time. But yeah, I sent my sister on the mission to order the hole punch because she does all the internet stuff. I don't do a lot of internet things. So, oh gosh, that's so cute though. Look at that. So hopefully within the video, I'll get that in the mail and get to finish that frame. And then let me see. Let's look at this picture. I just want to see how the horns looks like they're on the mantle. And then in this picture, they look like they are raised up above the mantle. And they're not even drawn the exact same way. And these are straight from the Disney film, especially this one. And that's another art piece from the Disney film. So that, every time, if you notice in movies, some things aren't always drawn exactly the same. So when I saw this, that's what I was kind of going by. It looks like it's just sitting on the mantle, and it could be the angle. Who knows how they drew it. But in this one, it looks like it's actually hanging way above the mantle. But then there's others too, where some looks like it's sitting on the mantle, some looks like it's hanging above it. So either way, it's fine. I think that looks so good. Oh yeah, and what I was saying is, I think the only other thing to do is putting the leaves around there, and I've got to add that picture again here, do my little thumbs up. Hopefully I'm remembering to post that picture here so you can see the leaf design around the frame. And that's how it looks in the Disney parks again. And then this one, he's got in the movie, he's got this little bone or bamboo looking stuff, and then some feathers and several other antlers hanging around it. But, I'm just gonna, I think once I get the leaves on there, that's gonna be plenty. So doing that and then making this little chair. So let me see what I can come up with for the chair. Okay, so let's just forget the chair for now, because look what actually came in the mail. My sister had got this, and right now I don't even remember if I've mentioned it within the time I've been recording this video or if I mentioned it last week, but I think it was this video. A couple of days have passed. So I've been sitting here working on the project, and this came. So this is the little hole punch. Everything is so washed out right now. Oh, wow. There we go. So this is the little hole punch. I'm going to open it up here. She ordered this. I don't really know where she got this from, but it's a little paper punch. It's going to make my little leaf design. You just stick the paper in there. Let me grab a little piece of paper here. And let's test it out. Oh my gosh, look at that little leaf. And then there is the tiny little leaf. And that is just like the most perfect little thing there. Oh my gosh. So what I need to do is get some brown paper and cut me out a bunch of these little leaves, but I don't have brown paper, so I'm going to have to paint this brown to get my design. This is a sun hole punch. We had one already that was a sun, and I was trying to make that work as a leaf, and I just couldn't get it to do anything, and I thought, forget it, just order the leaf hole punch and make this easier. So, oh my gosh, I'm excited. So let me grab my brown paint, and I'm gonna dab a couple different shades on here so that they have they all look a little different. So I'm gonna take this paint. I've got 2 shades of brown there, and I just take the lids off because I don't need to really use a lot. But let me flip this paper around real quick. Let me see, what am I doing? Okay, so I got my colors, and I'm just going to take a little bit of each of these and just kind of do this little number here. And I've got this brown, and I'm using orange as a background. I thought that would look kind of real, even if you do sort of see through it. But I'm just going to do this real quick, and then I'm going to grab the other color and just kind of fill in even more. And these 2 colors are kind of just blending, and I don't want them perfectly blended, just so they've got a hint of different shades going on so that all the leaves will look different once I punch them out. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm actually going to take it outside and spray it with my spray Mod Podge just to help strengthen it up. And then I'll punch out the little leaves. And then I went outside and I cut some little sticks to go around the frame because I noticed in that picture it's got these sticks and then it's got the leaves attached to that. So I got to kind of match it with this. And you know what I could actually do? I could sort of just paint these so that it'll be a perfect match. Because it's supposed to look like the leaves on the frame are carved from wood. So I want it to match this wood stick that's going to be the frame. So before I run out and spray it, I went ahead and painted that one because I didn't want to waste it. And then also I've discovered that some of these you're going to see the back of them, so I went ahead and done both sides of the paper where I'm going to be punching those out so that, you know, if you see one side, if you see both sides, both sides will be painted. So I had to consider that, which most people, if you use leaf punches, you're going to probably use the right color, but where I didn't have the right color, I had to remember to paint the backside brown also. But I don't know how well it shows up on screen, but I love the coloring of that. It's not completely dry yet. Some of them little spots that are kind of thick, I'm just going to kind of smudge it with my finger. It'll dry quicker, some of them little clumpy spots. But I want to make sure I dry that good before I try to punch it, so it doesn't like clog up my little puncher. So I'm going to do that and then spray it and then get them punched out, and then we'll put the little frame together. Oh yeah, I need to wash these. Alright, so now I'm going to hold the sticks up here and kind of see how I like them. I don't know. I kind of like that. No, I don't know. That little stump sticking down and kind of too close to my face. I don't really like that. So let's get it back this way. And then I'm just going to cut those with my little clippers. And I'm just going to glue that with some tacky glue and get this done real quick. And then we'll glue on some little leaves because they turned out so cute. Let me grab those real quick. Eek! Look how cute that is. That is like the cutest little things. Where'd my little tweezers go? They're so tiny. I can't even pick them up. I'm going to have to use tweezers. There's no way I could get my giant man hands in there and pick those up and get them glued on there. So I've got little tweezers I'll use for that. All right, so I've got the sticks on it, and I'm going to glue each little leaf on here, just like I did with those roses on the Beast Castle. And I'll probably go off camera to do this because I know it's going to be a pain to get them in there. But I'm just going to go around it like that. I'll do a couple right now, but I know that gorgeous picture of me is hard to look away from. Hopefully you're seeing me glue these leaves on there, but I think that's good. But you know, I don't love the glue, so I'm going to just kind of blot that glue a little bit and just sort of spread that out so it don't look like little clumps of glue after it's dried, because that kind of little stuff freaks me out. So I'm just going to kind of blend that glue around each time I glue one on, so that you don't see it. And then I think even after this, I'm going to take some of my chalk and like age it up a little bit, like it's collected some dust or dirt or whatever. All right, so before we show that, I think the whole room is done now. The last thing that needs to be done, of course, is this really wild chair that he's got, and it's covered in fur, and it's got horns and antlers, and so I'm going to make those antlers out of the clay like I did the ones above the fireplace. And for the chair itself, I'm going to use this foam board, and I'm looking around trying to find the fur. I just had it, and there it is. So I think this fur is going to look really good, but it looks like he's got two shades of brown there, two different colors going on. So I'm going to have to figure something out for that. I think I've got some more fur, but I don't know where it is. But I may just kind of brush some paint or something on this, and I don't know if that'll work, but I'll look and see what I got. All right, so again, I'm going to do the horns and the antlers out of clay, but before I can do that, I'm going to actually make the back and the bottom of the chair so I can kind of know how tall and how big to make those horns, because I need this part made before getting the other parts done. So I need to grab my little Gaston and use him as a scale model to make the back and the bottom of the chair, and then I'm just going to roll out some little horns, and then we'll check it out before I put it all together. All right, so looking at the chair, he's got these little horns as the feet, and he's got horns up here at the head, and he's got some antlers there on the arm of the chair, and then he's got some tall antlers that are going up from the back. These antlers that you sort of see there are coming off the back of the chair. So I'm making those out of clay. Over here's the ones for the head of the chair. And then there's the four legs. And they don't have to be exactly the same since they are horns. It's not like two horns are exactly alike. And then for the antlers, I'm just rolling out like this little worm of clay. And I'm just going to form that into the shape of some antlers. Then I'm going to go throw these in the oven and get them baked. Here's the little chair so far, just made out of foam board. And of course I've put my little pins in there just to help strengthen that up and hold that together really well. And then of course I've got these little wires sticking out of the horns just to help strengthen them up. and that will also go up in the chair. I'll have to snip that wire a little bit so it don't go too far through the chair. All right, so I'm not an expert at making antlers, but what I have figured out that's kind of easy is I just make a little worm of clay, a little snake of clay, and then I figured out that it's pretty easy just to split that tip of it. Yeah, kind of like that. And then you can just kind of work, kind of roll it, and then shape it. And it just takes some fidgeting with, and it don't look great, but I think the overall look will look good. And then just kind of bend it around how you want it. And that looks pretty believable. Again, there's the picture of those curvy antlers, and that's just kind of how I'm getting it because that's the easiest. Instead of trying to um instead of trying to cut a little piece off like that and then trying to attach it to here, it just looks more natural where you just split it and it looks like it's growing like one continuous piece without trying to smear this piece into that piece. And it's just really delicate and it's super fidgety, so it just looks more right. And then if I roll this one out a little more, it kind of makes that little snake of clay longer, so it can be a little bit longer than that last one hanging down there. All right, so I've got them done, and I'm gonna go pop them in the oven, and then we'll glue it to the chair and do the fur. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this fur and I'm going to cover it outside. I'm going to go outside to cut it because I know it's going to make a mess, and I have just cleaned and vacuumed my room, so I want it to not be going everywhere. So I'm going to run outside before it gets dark and get this covered, and then I got to do something to it once I get all that done. All right, so I've got the parts cut out, and I did that outside so that the fur wouldn't go everywhere. And I was going to hot glue this, but I'm going to actually just do my tacky glue. And I wished y'all could actually experience this storm that is coming. It is thundering like crazy. I can see the rain coming. Oh, and there's some thunder. I don't know if the camera is picking that up or not, but I'm kind of excited. I get excited over thunderstorms, but I'm kind of freaked out by lightning. But anyway, I've got these parts cut out, and I'm just going to glue them in here like this. And then I want to actually, once I get them glued on, I want to trim that hair pretty short, because if you look at the fur, it's got a shorter fur, and then on the arms and up here on the head, it's a little bit longer. So we're going to do another layer in those spots. Now I've discovered that I'm going to cover the arms and trim that and then put the back on it. I'm not going to put it all on together because I think that's going to make everything really annoying to try to cut. I think I can trim it and groom it easier if I do it piece by piece instead of trying to do it all on here at once, because it's just kind of hard to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to trim each little part, each little section before going to the next step. And I'm so mad right now because I left my friggin' antlers in the oven and kind of forgot about it. So I'll have to show you how that turned out. So I'm just trying to, I said a bad word, several bad words, and then I kind of laughed about it, and then I'm back to a mad stage. It's kind of going from mad to laughing at it. So I'm just kind of stressing right now over that. But and here I am cutting this. I don't even care about the fur. I'll just be real careful with it. But anyways, I'm just trying to get in the mood to have to remake all them antlers. I had them made so perfect, but oh well. All right, so I've got the arms trimmed up, and I'm just trying to trim up the seat of it. And you kind of want to cut with the way the hair lays. You don't want to cut straight across because it will look cut. So you kind of want to go up along the way the hair comes down, like uh, go with the grain. That I know you don't call it the grain, but um, and this is taking out some of my frustration from the dang burnt antlers. I mean, I'm just so like, again, not sure if I should be pissed or laughing about it, but um I'm just so disheartened with the dang antlers. But the chair's looking pretty cute though. The chair's making me happy, so um it's really a little hairy mess right now. It looks like he has killed the beast and using the beast to cover his chair, and I wonder if that was kind of part of their idea for designing that chair. But this is looking really cute. Check that out. But let me see. Now I think I'm just about ready to do the back part. And I'm trying to decide how I want to cover the back. I guess I don't know. I was gonna say, should I just trim where it needs to be short and leave the long part long, or should I make the long part a separate piece altogether? I don't even know really, but I'll go ahead and glue this on and then see what I think. And I can see on the sides of the chair there's like some stitching, so I'm going to try to find my little embroidery thread. And also I think I might paint this foam board because it's going to sort of show through the fur in some places, so I don't want to see that, so I'm going to paint it brown. All right, so here is what those darn antlers look like. I mean, that they look awful. I mean, I'm so mad that that's what I've got. I mean, oh my gosh, that's what you get for leaving it in there for like 30 minutes or longer. I mean, I don't know. Maybe, these could actually be useful in the future as something in like a scary Halloween project. I might save them, but they are totally burnt. My house smells terrible from the burnt clay, but these are just so crappy. I'm just gonna have to sit here and make some new ones, and as you can see, they are stuck to the tray. All right, there we go. That's what they look like, and I'm so mad about it, but oh well. Stuff happens. I'll just sit here and make some other ones. So here's the new ones, and you better believe I'm going to sit my butt in the kitchen and watch them this time. So let me wish me luck. I'm going to go bake them again, second round. All right, so here's where we are now, and what I want to do, I've got it trimmed, and I kind of kept it long here, and I kept it kind of long on the sides, because that's kind of what it looks like it's doing to me. So I want this fur to be a little bit darker, and then later I'm going to go with some of this longer stuff and just kind of put a little bit right up here, but I want this to be lighter, and I want whatever's on the arms to be a little bit lighter. So I'm going to go blow off this extra hair. I've been kind of brushing it with a paintbrush, just a dry paintbrush. And so now I'm going to just kind of mist it with a little bit of brown spray paint, just enough to darken it. All right, so let's check out the second batch of antlers. Now, this is not them. This is that first batch. And then this is how they were supposed to look. So thank goodness the second time worked. So here they are. They are just as nice as the first ones I made, if not better. I am so glad I got that done. I wasn't even in the mood to make this chair, but I thought it's the only thing I've got left in Gaston's Tavern, so I just thought, well, I have to make it. And so that just really discouraged me, but I just got in there and got these other ones done. I'm so glad that's over with. because it wasn't really the funnest part of the project. But even someone like me who's getting pretty used to making miniatures and liking, and I enjoy doing it, but sometimes there's certain things we just don't want to do. But anyway, now let's look at the chair after I've got it painted. I've got it on this little thing here. I took it outside just like you see it and held it on there and just kind of misted that, like I said, with the spray paint, and it done such a good job. And it's kind of wet actually. It'll probably never dry. I probably should get the hair dryer to it, but now this is the color of the fur before. It's just slightly darker, and as you can see there, it's just slightly darker, the two colors. So that, uh-oh, wait a minute. Oh no. Yeah, I'll brush that off. See, it's kind of stuck to it there. I definitely want to make sure this is dry before I sit Gaston on it. But I'll take the hair dryer to it and hopefully it'll dry quick. But anyways, I'm going to get the last two little pieces cut to go on the arms of the chair and then the top. But I also need to find that little embroidery thread and just kind of do a few little stitches here and there on the sides like it shows in the picture there. All right, so here's where we are after I did a few little stitches on the side to tack it down. I think it looks pretty good. I do see a little white foam board showing right there. I might need to cover that up because I think I kind of clipped my fur a little too close. But it's kind of got this little grungy look. It's still not even dry. You can see the paint on my fingers where I'm touching it because I'm impatient and I just can't wait to see what it's going to look like dry. But I've cut this little piece of fur. Is this the one? No, that ain't it. This one's it. This is just going to go right over the top. Just fold that over and then kind of brush it down. So that's how the back's going to look. And that looks freaking cute. I cannot wait to get this done. But what I think I'm going to do first, before I even do that, is go ahead and glue these horns in here where they go. And see, that's why I'd put the wire in there before I baked it, because that wire is what's going to glue in there and help hold that on. So I'm going to stick that in there, and then I'll glue that other fur on, and then put a little bit on the arm. All right, so before we check it out, we're going to look at the pictures again. Now, I've pretty much got it done, but later on, I think I want to add some little whiskey barrels down here at the bottom and maybe some little beer steins, just because I like detail and I feel like it could use something down here in the floor because it's just a lot of space down here. And then another little thing I want to show are these earrings that my mama gave me. I've actually got one in my ear right now, but it's little antlers. She gave me those since I'm into Gaston and this sort of theme. And I'm just kind of looking back there. And I've even made a little list of things that I wanted to mention. No, I guess that's pretty much it. But let's just pull the picture away and check it out. Now, since this is done, I don't even care if I finish the rest of the project, because to me, it's all about Gaston. This is the main part of it, and I absolutely love this. But the wood color, the brown, I mean, if you look at the picture, it is just such a perfect match. Um, that brown color is just so perfect. They should like rename it Gaston's Wood or something because it is just so good. I didn't have to do anything to change it. Um, the little leaves around the frame, they turned out so perfect. And again, that is based more on how it looks at the Disney parks. If you go to his tavern at the park, he's got those oak leaves around the frame. Um, and then let's check out his chair. Here's a couple of scenes of him sitting in the chair. And then, of course, we got to check out the one I just made. It just turned out so perfect. I mean, it just is so cute. Let me back this light up here a little bit. I mean, look how perfect it turned out. It turned out way cuter than I expected that to. And to me, it looks so much like he has like skinned the beast. I mean, here's his little horns and here's his fur. It looks so much like the beast to me. But of course, I'm sure that's not what he did because he had the chair at the same time that the beast existed. So, but in the movie, it's usually sitting right about there, right in front of the fireplace. And it's cute sitting there, but I'm going to stick it over here to the side so it's not really blocking everything. Now, you got to see the main part. Of course, we're missing the star of the show here. Now, wait till you see it. He just fits so perfect in there. I love it. So, anyways, I hope everybody else has enjoyed this part of the project. Thank y'all for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.